Touchdown, Westerly!
A chance for the Chargers, and they score!
In the front, Fuzzy again!
Well, happy Bagel Day, everybody. It's ridiculous, the stuff you read on the internet, but that was the first thing I saw this morning. Today is National Bagel Day. Welcome to Man About Town from 321 Media. We are here in beautiful downtown Westerly. It's cold, as you might be able to tell from all my layers. I'm right back in the thermal undershirt and about 4 layers on top of it, and the hat and everything but the gloves. But it is a beautiful day here, and hopefully by July we will have nice warm weather. We are here with the movie guy who's way more interested in not telling you about National Bagel Day, but about Sunday. Welcome to Bill Dougherty from Mystic Luxury Cinemas, all South County Cinemas, Madison, Connecticut Cinemas, and the Westbrook 42 or 90 or 12 or however many.
Yes, it's great to be back. What's this, our third podcast we've done together now? I think so. And,
I believe so. Well, we haven't seen you since Christmas.
That's right. And boy, do I have some things to report to you. Remember, we talked about how slow it was for our September and October. Well, guess what? Middle of November, Wicked and Moana came out, and we opened up the floodgates. And
I guess you did.
We came through a fantastic holiday season, not just for us, but for the whole industry.
Did the Mystic Shopping Village thank you for all those extra cars?
Yes.
Even after Christmas?
Yes. There was some great traffic generated through the Mystic Village, not only from our side, but from the retail side too. So they both feed off of each other. The restaurants feed off of the theater also. So some great energy down there. If you haven't seen any of the holiday movies, we still have the Bob Dylan A Complete Unknown, which is super movie. It's done very well. Great word of mouth pictures.
I think my friends were going this afternoon to see that.
They will not be disappointed, and they will go out and tell 10 of their friends. So if you haven't seen that, I do.
With a total unknown.
Complete unknown. A complete
unknown.
Yeah. Whether you were a fan of Bob Dylan or not, we still grew up with him. And so we all knew about his music and his style.
Well, when I said a total unknown, I meant the actor, this Timothy Chalamet.
Yes.
Yeah, they say he's great.
Even Bob Dylan had some commentary on he really nailed it. So great movie. It's great to hear the music in there. I grew up with that music a lot myself. So it's been great. Wicked has been one of our best movies ever, only behind Barbie of 2 summers ago. So our industry is we're coming back. But
you never really left. You just kind of paused.
That's right. And again, we've talked about this so many times. It's no different. There's always changes in our industry. But I think you asked me about something when we first started. You asked me about
popcorn.
Yes, I know today is Bagel Day, correct?
National Bagel Day.
Well, on Sunday, January 19th is National Popcorn
Day.
So if you are
don't mind if I do.
You love that popcorn.
Love it.
And if you're in one of our theaters, we got a great promotion that day. Small popcorns are $1. The medium is going to be $2, and the large tub will be $3.
I know. Let's stop right there, because people are saying, wait a minute, did that guy say what I think he said? Yes, this size will be $3 Sunday the 19th at all theaters.
That's correct. And how about this? Even if you're not watching a movie, you're coming around the Mystic Village, you can still walk in off the street and we'll sell you that popcorn for $3. And I'll even put some real butter on it.
And then you go home and stream, which you don't want people to do.
And you know what? It's okay. I'm okay with people that stream, because we had plenty of non-streamers over the holidays. And all I could say is that everybody that came in to see Wicked or Moana on the big screen would tell you that you can't see those on the little screen. There's nothing there. So I've said this a million times. You can come into our lobbies and just stand there and watch the energy when these theaters are turning, when you have great attendance, you got the great film, you know the patrons' reactions. It's just a great time. That Christmas week is really something. We were going on in Mystic as early as 9:30 in the morning,
Wow.
and selling them out at 9:30. So when you're selling popcorn and Skittles and Milk Duds at 9 o'clock in the morning, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. A lot of fun.
Were you also selling mimosas and chicken and hot dogs?
Yep, you would believe it or not. There were some chicken fingers and hot dogs at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Black.
But and again, we go continuously. So our last shows maybe go in at 9 o'clock at night, and then they're not over until say midnight. And from there, we've got to clean the theater because we got to be ready for the next day. So
Wow.
when we're in that run, say of a Christmas week, those 12 days there, it can be pretty exhausting because
Surprised you don't have sleeping bags for your people. Here, clean this, clean the bathroom, take a nap, and then we've got an 8 o'clock show in the morning.
We have separate shifts actually, and there's times, especially that Christmas week, where Mystic and South Kingstown will run almost 24 hours a day with somebody in the building. Whether it's the team opening up in the morning, and then we operate all day, and then there's a crew that'll come in late night and they will work and clean the theater. And sometimes that could take till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And then
So what do the teams eat? Popcorn? All day?
Everybody, when they're off, they get to go home and rest up because as long as I've been doing it, anybody that knows if you're going to work in this industry, that is a tough week. There's a lot going on, and you can't turn it off. And so, biggest week.
But you wouldn't want to turn it off.
No.
I'm sure you
Christmas
wouldn't.
Week, and we were open Christmas morning, and you should see we had a nice crowd in Mystic on Christmas morning. And I love.
Did you have the lights on early?
Oh yes, I was
Great.
down there for my dad early morning in his honor, turning on all the lights to the theater. And again, it was great to be there for everybody because I know it's not an easy day for everybody. So for me to be there for the theater and have the theater open, it's a great day.
Now, when you open it early on Christmas morning, was it for every movie that you had, all auditoriums?
Oh, yeah.
It was.
Yep.
So it wasn't one particular one.
Yeah, no, as a matter of fact, that was the opening night of Complete Unknown.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of the film companies will save Christmas night to launch their movies. The other one, and I have trouble pronouncing it, Nosferatu. Yes.
Nosferatu,
Yes,
that's
I have
right.
trouble pronouncing that one.
Yeah.
But that also opened up on Christmas Day, which you never see that genre of films open up on certainly Christmas Day, but it did, and it did extremely well.
Wow.
Extremely well. But
and you've got some stuff coming because I was looking at the website yesterday and I was looking at all these movies that are coming. Mel Brooks and Gone with the Wind and North by Northwest. Well, I don't want to steal your thunder. You talk about them.
Well, and we also have the Interstellar that's coming back for an event screening. Let me just pull up some of these. I just thought we'd talk about a little bit about we're billing it as, actually not the film company is billing it as the cinematic event of 2025, The Brutalist. And
really?
That's coming out on the 24th with Adrian Brody. It's been nominated Best Picture. Sorry, not nominated.
Oh, that's the new movie that's like 3 hours long.
Yes, 3 hours and 35 minutes.
I saw a feature he was on. It might have been CBS Sunday Morning this past Sunday.
Yes, exactly.
But I did see that feature and I was thinking, boy, that sounds good. And I looked it up and then I saw 3 hours plus and I said, oh.
This is a real rarity today in our industry, although in the yesteryears it was certainly done quite often. There's an intermission in this film.
Oh, yes.
And it's 15 minutes. It's not like we can stop it and start it again. There's a countdown of 15 minutes, and that's part of the...
I remember when Ben-Hur came out, there was an intermission. I think there was also one in the Ten Commandments.
Yes.
But Ben-Hur, I absolutely remember. And I remember being at a theater in Newark, New Jersey, and right down next to the theater was a deli. And when they took that break, people were running in getting corned beef sandwiches. So the whole theater just smelled like that for the second half. They're running around the Circus Maximus with the horses, and people are eating corned beef and pickles.
Yeah.
But I do remember that very, very well.
That sounds
So,
great.
yeah, that's going to open up this. We have our advanced screenings this Thursday at 5:00 and 6:15, and then the regular engagement will start the next day, Friday.
Very good.
So I would recommend you come down and see that one. But yes, there's a lot of new films coming out. As you and I have chatted about, it's not always about what the films that people are seeing today. It's about the distribution and what's coming next. And we've got some real good ones coming out.
You've got some great ones
That's
coming.
right. The word on the street is 2025, where you should be able to hopefully get back to what we would call somewhat of a normal. But here's a good one. How about for an event screening here on January 19th and 20th? We all remember watching The Goonies, huh? 40th anniversary. Can you believe that?
Goonies never say die.
Yes. Well, there'll be I know the January 19th is almost sold out, but there's plenty of seats on the 20th. But again,
Yeah, but the 19th is the popcorn, the big one for $3.
there you go. You can come down and see The Goonies and get your $3 popcorn. Interstellar's anniversary screening will be on the 21st. And again, just a reminder, The Brutalist does open up. I would recommend anybody to go see this film. The reviews are great on it. And again, Bill.
Well, he is an amazing actor. He really is.
Billed as the cinematic event of 2025. Also coming is for the family's Dog Man, about the little dog. So I know my partner saw that today.
Dog Man?
Yeah, it's called Dog Man. It's kind of a little. It's
Think Spider-Man, but with a dog.
It's a character, yeah. And how about for all us rock and roll fans, Becoming Led Zeppelin?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be out
Ooh,
here.
I wonder if they're gonna add how they got their name.
Is
Do you
this
kn-
something we can say on 321 Media?
Not really, but I can explain.
Oh.
So they came up with this name that was absolutely terrible, and I cannot say it. And
Please
so
don't.
I'm not
Ben
gonna.
would like to stay on the air.
Right, and so then somebody said, "Well, that'll go over like a Led Zeppelin."
And there you go.
Ah,
History
Led
was
Zeppelin.
made.
Yep.
History was made.
wow. Not a lead balloon, but a
A
Led
Led
Zeppelin.
Zeppelin.
And just to continue on with some of the new movies coming out, we have a new Paddington, which
Paddington Bear?
yes, Paddington Bear is coming back, and he's in Peru this time.
Oh.
So
Why don't you ever have Winnie the Pooh? That's the bear I like.
They did have it. It was terrible.
Oh.
There's new Captain America for all the superhero fans. That'll be here in February. Mickey 17th, which has been slated for release many, many times. And so that's coming out on the 7th of March.
Okay.
And there's a live adaptation of Snow White. So that'll always be interesting from Disney. So
A live adaptation?
yes, of Snow White. And that's
Wow. Not cartoon.
no, that's on March 21st. So
Huh.
you could see how the film starts laying out for us as we get closer to the summer season, the blockbuster season.
Interesting.
But we have always got to be way ahead of ourselves on this.
Some of these movies, like the Captain America and this one, is that done like during school break? Because there's a midwinter school week.
Oh yes, these.
Yeah.
these,
I mean, there's an Easter week, but there's also a midwinter school week.
correct. And there's that's what I'm looking for. When they slot these films in to certain dates, there's a reason. There's a reason that they hold a film and push it maybe to a Thanksgiving opening or Christmas or those dates in the summertime. Very, very important.
Oh, yeah.
You take like this weekend here, we have Martin Luther King Day. So that one day, now all of a sudden, now we have a premiere night on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So it really extends our week. So you have to make sure that you have the right films in there. Right now, we're kind of in between, where a lot of the Christmas films are going to be ending now this week, and then they'll bring in the wave of the new ones.
So is Wicked and Moana, are they going to end shortly?
They are, but again, even this morning, there was 30-something people watching Wicked and Mystic again this morning.
Because it's so cold.
Yep,
That's what you want to do. Get nice and cozy on the heated seats.
And what also happens on a film like that, which we love to see in our industry, we call it legs, where the film will stay and really go for, say, a nice 8 or 10 week run. I think Wicked is on week either 8 or 9. I know it's 8. It could be even week 9. But what happens in a case like that, you get the hardcore moviegoers that love to see the movies right on day one. And then what happens is you get the more casual that start coming in the second and third week. But then as time goes on, you get the people who aren't necessarily moviegoers, but they've heard so much about this film. And now somebody that saw it on week 1 is going with somebody that hasn't seen it on week 5 or 6.
Right.
So it really,
But from what you've told us in the past, the distribution companies control that. You
Correct.
and your partner can't say we're going to keep it another month,
oh, no.
or it's not doing well, we're cutting it now, right?
No, we do have a say on the when it ends. The contracts may call for 4 weeks, but after you fulfill the obligation of the contract, it's up to you if you want to keep it another week after
Ah.
that.
So you can always do more. You can never do less.
Rarely.
Yeah.
If it's a big bomb,
Call them and be like, it's killing me.
but that's what you hope that the movie has legs and that it carries you. Because if you look at that, it's just that one movie, Wicked, playing 9 weeks. Well, if there's 52 weeks in the year, that's almost a quarter of the year on one screen that was occupied with one movie.
Wow. Do you remember? Now I'm going back. This is probably the early 70s, maybe late 60s. There was a movie called A Man and a Woman. It was a French movie, but it was a big hit. And the song won the Oscar for the Song of the Year. And
I can't say I recall it.
it was a beautiful movie. I was in Syracuse, New York at that time. There was an independent theater, one screen. They ran that for 1 year.
Yes.
Now, that would have been their decision. And they were always packed. People were seeing it and crying and loving it and watching it over and over and over. But they ran it for 1 damn year. And listening to you talk about the industry now, I just wonder how that was allowed.
Well,
Or if they didn't care it was an independent theater.
Here's another great
It was
example.
an art theater.
Right. Well, back then, that's what happened in the industry. A great example of that, my dad's first theaters, some of you folks might recall the old Groton Cinema where Aldi's is.
Yes.
Well, that was a 2-screen little theater back then. Do you remember the theater that was in there?
I wasn't here
Okay,
then.
It was a fraction of what the Aldi's building is now.
I know where Aldi's is. Yeah.
It was just a tiny 2-screen theater in there. And his first or second year, they played the movie Summer of 42. Same thing. It played for a year.
Wow.
1 year it played there. And that was in only a 2-screen theater. And that was new for the concept in the early 70s. It was unheard of that we had 2 movies in one building. So,
Wow.
and you have to remember back then, they released a lot fewer movies. I think in my dad's day, there was maybe 180 movies a year that were released. Now we're up 600-700 a year.
That many, really?
Yes, watered down, yes, but that's what's happened here.
Wow.
We can't play a lot of this stuff. Our industry, we don't have enough room for it.
We
be
have
honest
a
with you.
message from Joe and Angie Iokoi, and they say, "Hi, Bill. Good friends of ours. We love Mystic. Going tomorrow, in fact, again."
Oh, it's good to hear from Joe and his wife. They're great
Yeah.
patrons.
I know them as well.
I remember meeting both of them when I first came to Westerly in 1980.
Wow.
Yeah, my dad had taken over the old Twin Cinema up on the hill. So big hello to Joe and his wife, and we'll look forward to seeing them. I hope they're going to see A Complete Unknown, because they will not be disappointed. So I would
They're not saying what movie they're going to see?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. And they're going tomorrow.
They're going
Okay.
tomorrow.
There you
Okay, they're
go.
going to pay full
Again.
price for popcorn,
Popcorn,
Joe.
yeah. If Joe came on over the weekend, we would give a deal for $1. But, that'll be fun. And that's what our industry has become, a lot of more event filming, different type of promotions.
You have seen so much change since you were that little 3-year-old boy going with your dad. I mean, things have really changed in that industry.
It has, and that's what I've always talked about. But the one thing that hasn't changed is people still want to see a great story on the big white square.
Yeah.
If you were there Christmas week, Do you think I was worried about anybody that was streaming? No, I was worried about how we're going to sell all these tickets.
Yeah, how are you going to get them all in?
Right. The day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, we set a record for the most tickets we've ever sold between the 4 theaters. So I have to tell you, on that day, I wasn't really worried about who and who was
Who
not
was home.
streaming. You know? So I've always said we drive that. The streaming does not drive us. All it takes is
Yes.
that Avatar, Wicked, Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what the big ones are, and it's a lot of fun. They got some great ones. You got a new Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise's final installment this summer. You got another Jurassic Park.
Isn't he about 80 by now?
Yeah, 80, but still looks like 30.
Yeah, that's true. No, he's not 80, but I mean, some of these guys, they just hang with these movies for a long time.
Yep.
If they remade Tank Girl, I would probably be there every day until it closed.
Which movie?
Tank Girl came out in like 93 or 95. Lori Petty, Naomi Watts, Malcolm McDowell. It was an apocalyptic film.
Oh,
and
he's scary.
Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm
He is
McDowell.
typecasted every single time as like the bad guy. I could never see him as the good guy.
Speaking of Malcolm McDowell, I think I saw when I was looking at your website yesterday, Clockwork Orange is coming back.
Oh my.
That's a scary one.
That's funny because when I think of Malcolm McDowell, if it's not Tank Girl, it's Clockwork.
Well, I was young when I saw that, and I remember getting up and leaving. It was upsetting me.
That
Yeah.
connects a lot of
Oh, yeah.
dots.
It was a
That makes a lot of
weird,
sense.
weird movie.
See,
I
I
love
was pretty
that
young back
movie.
then, but I remember my dad doing all the ads downstairs with the press books. It wasn't digital back then. You'd cut out your ads and we'd
Wow.
paste them, and then we'd have to drive
That's
them.
how we used to do the Westerly
Well,
Sun.
that's what I had to do. I used to see Tony and I forgot who the other. There was a lady I used to work with at the Westerly Sun.
Gloria?
No,
Gloria Russell?
No, it was with Tony.
I would love that
I
job.
remember that. But yes, that's how I learned about advertising. And I used to love it. You used to open up the newspaper every Friday and you'd see those big, beautiful ads that theaters had.
Yeah.
So I really, really missed that a lot. But I remember all the press books for, like you say, Clockwork Orange, Deliverance, the Poseidon.
Do you
Adventure.
ever have anybody? I probably shouldn't say this, give people ideas,
Love
but do you
ideas.
ever have people try to steal your movie posters from outside? Because I know you do have a poster for every film.
The answer is yes. I even have one better for you. Down in South Kingstown a year ago, we had somebody steal the life size, I should say, cutout of Taylor Swift.
Oh, well, that doesn't surprise
Well,
me
Yeah, but
at all.
here's what's even more funny is that some of our staff went on this whatever social media platform. I don't know any of them, so I don't know. But they went on some social media platform, and I guess they shamed the person for stealing it. They brought it back.
Oh,
It showed up back at the theater. So
and it was not damaged.
no, we got it
That's
back. So
nice.
the answer to your question is occasionally they do get stolen. I just wish I had all the ones that I was just talking about for my dad's day. Because
Oh, I'm
you
sure.
go online and some of them are worth a lot of money.
I bet they are.
Yeah.
All right, now you've got. I don't know if you want to give. We're going to take a break in a couple of minutes, and we can do it when we come back. If you want to give some of the movies that are coming and the dates, because like I said, I saw Clockwork Orange and Gone with the Wind, and I think it was Blazing Saddles. I know it was a Mel Brooks movie, but I can't remember when.
Yeah,
And
no,
you have them all in a line. I know you do
yeah,
online.
we'll go over all those. We'll talk about all the event screenings that are coming
Well,
up.
we can take a break now, I'm sure.
Let's do it.
Can't we, oh producer of mine,
I
DJ
suppose
Gadget?
so.
You are listening to Man About Town on 321 Media. We are in beautiful downtown, albeit cold, Westerly. It's cold in here too. We are with Bill Dougherty from the Shoreline Cinemas, all of them in Connecticut and Rhode Island, and who knows whenever and where else you and your partner are going to decide to acquire another. But we will be back to talk all things movies very shortly. Let's listen to some of our local people.
You're also listening on weirdsterly.com and the Alexa app and the Android and iOS app.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
Hot summers and cold winters can be unbearable, but D&V Mechanical has the solution for you. As a Mitsubishi Diamond dealer, we provide energy-efficient and personalized comfort solutions for your home. Our experienced technicians will install your new system quickly and efficiently, ensuring your complete satisfaction. Don't suffer through another season of discomfort. Contact D&V Mechanical today for a personalized ductless mini-split installation that fits your lifestyle. D&V Mechanical, your comfort is our top priority.
Hi, I'm Chris Kozłowski, owner of Broadview Florist and Garden Center in Dunn's Corners. For over 40 years, our family-owned business has been your go-to destination for beautiful, custom-made floral arrangements. Whether it's a special event or just to brighten up your day, we create highest quality designs tailored just for you. Trust Broadview Florists to make every moment unforgettable. Visit us today or give us a call at 401-322-0390.
Are you looking for a fresh cut in Westerly? Step into Rio's Barber Shop in Granite Plaza. Whether it's a classic trim or a trendy new look, we've got you covered. Experience the perfect cut for every age and style in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. At Rio's, it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Visit Rio's Barber Shop in the Granite Plaza in Westerly or give us a call to schedule your appointment at 401-315-2208. Your style, our craft, Rio's Barber Shop.
I am Jim Howe. My practice is focused on representing people injured in car accidents, representing people injured in premises liability, represent people in all walks of life. I say all the time that I represent the underdog, and by the underdog I mean the person who is injured and is facing lawyers that are hired by insurance companies. If you unfortunately find yourself injured in an automobile collision or in any other circumstance where insurance may come into play, think of giving me a call.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Ever thought about leveling up your fitness game in a fun and meaningful way? Kiefer's Martial Arts on Granite Street has everything you're looking for. Kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and of course, adult karate. It's not just about getting fit, it's about building your self-confidence, discipline, and that unstoppable feeling you get from all your hard work. Stop into Kiefer's Martial Arts today to sign up.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
Brunch has arrived at Surf Cantina every Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And don't miss our weekly specials like Monday Night Industry Night, Taco Tuesday with DJ Trivia, $1 Wing Wednesdays, Reggae Thursdays, DJs every weekend at 10 p.m. and karaoke on Sundays at 8. Only at Surf Cantina, 15 Canal Street in downtown Westerly.
Hi, I'm Neil Anthus, owner of Sound Financial Partners. We're a full-service financial planning practice dedicated to optimizing your investment, tax, and cash flow strategies. As fiduciaries, we always keep our advisory clients' best interests in mind when making recommendations. Whether you're preparing for retirement or growing your business, we're here to help you achieve your financial goals. Ready to start your journey to financial success? Visit us at our Westerly office or give us a call at 401-642-4333.
back now with Man About Town, and I'm just going to full stop on that sentence.
Yes. Yes, sometimes we do have to have a full stop, but we are back here at 321 Media, beautiful downtown Westerly. And we are here with a bunch of people and a four-legged friend down at my hip because she smelled the good popcorn is Roxy, the radio dog. And we have Stephanie, the radio hanger-oner.
We're not gonna put her on camera right now.
No, we're not. And we have DJ Gadget, the producer, and we have Mr. Bill, the movie guy. Speaking of Mr. Bill, what happened to the little girl from California who moved back here and called you Mr. Bill, and how much she loved your theater?
I still am in contact with them.
You are.
They,
well, tell the people what we're talking about.
Yep, there was some great customers of mine over in Mystic, Crystal and Tom. And I remember when we were running the drive-in during the pandemic, they happened to be there with their family, and they told me that they would be moving to California. And it was a tough day because obviously we were in the pandemic and things were kind of crazy. And then to know that I was losing this family that I really, really admired. And it was about maybe a year or two later that they showed up. They came back from the West Coast and moved back to the area. I know they were both in the military. And then after that, they moved over towards the Newport area. So now they patronize our theater over in South Kingstown. So I can say.
But they had a little girl who's probably not so little anymore.
No, she's not.
Who called you Mr. Bill and loved it.
And she loved coming to the theater. And my partner was talking to a few people about this the other day about how much I love to sit there at the end as shows are ending and interact with the young kids, because it should be a great experience going to the movie theaters, and especially as a first time. Those kids will never ever forget going to see a movie on a big
screen. Do the
screen.
kids say to you, "My favorite part was when the guy jumped off the building, or when the plane did this"?
Some of them get a little shy, but that's okay. I just like to be there to kind of interact with them, and because it means a lot to me that the people that come into the theater really care about the movie, that they enjoyed it. That's why we're there. We're there to entertain.
So there's no chance, as you approach retirement age, of you saying, "I'm leaving the movie business. I'm going to be a plumber." Nothing,
no,
right?
No, but it's funny you say that, because I look at my age right now, and zero interest in slowing down.
Good.
My partner, who's over 10 years older than I, he has no desire to slow down. We both enjoy what we do.
Great.
We don't equate the hours to it. There's many times I will get a email from my partner at, say, 11:48 p.m. and then the next one is 6:17 in the morning. So, which is okay, because we are formed a great partnership. We both love working on the theaters and always trying to improve them and just really give everybody the best experience we can.
Very good. Okay, so tell us what you have upcoming. We did find Clockwork Orange.
Yes, but that's over in South Kingstown. That's not in Mystic. So again, if you're interested,
well,
in
people that live here, you're kind of equidistant.
That's right.
You really are. You're about. We said that people that lived like up at Dunn's Corners are about 20 minutes from each of the theaters.
Oh yeah. You could just go right down Route 1, or you can go over to Mystic. But certainly to go down Route 1. South County Commons is right on Route 1.
Right.
But again, to remind everybody, National Popcorn Day.
Yes.
$3,
here we are.
$3. There you go. And we'll put butter on it for you if you'd
Roxy is a fan.
But if that's too much popcorn, you can get a small one, and that small one will be $1. So
again, today is what? Bagel Day? National
Today
Bagel
is
Day?
National Bagel Day, yes.
So that's what you're going to have today. You're going to have bagels today, and then popcorn on Sunday. Let's see, what else we have on that Sunday? We have an event screening. I think we were talking about Goonies. So I think that's a great family picture for anybody that has not seen it, or you want to bring your children or grandchildren down to see the 40th anniversary of Goonies. That's always a good one. That movie came out basically when I got out of high school and started running my first theaters. Goonies, it was E.T. I think the year before, and then Goonies came out right after that.
I have never heard of it. Talk about a generational divide there. Is this animation? Is it cartoons, or are they? Don't look at me like that, my producer.
That's a little bit of both, and that's real. If I'm thinking right, it was one of the first movies that did that. Like a live animation type thing.
And if you look at this, the chubby kid, I forget his name, but he had a lot of interviews as the Goonies were coming out. He got big, really. He is hilarious just by himself. I think he was on with Jimmy Carson or whatever his name is.
Johnny
Carson, yeah. And I think it was him. And he's just hilarious. Like, I don't know. That kid was like 12 going on 40.
Well, think now is that 12 now he's what? He's a 52-year-old man now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But
people do grow up.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Home Alone, huh? Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
You see him today, but
now his brother's a big star.
Yeah. But yet when that movie came out, he was the funniest little goofy little kid that that was a good one. I remember that came out around Thanksgiving, I think.
Okay, so tell people what you have on the lineup for Mystic.
We also have the anniversary screening of Interstellar. So that's a classic. That'll be here on the 21st. That's one night only at 7:15. I know they did do a pre-screenings of this in 70 millimeter. So that was well received. And again, the cinematic event of 2025. Please do not miss The Brutalist. I recommend everybody go on there.
Adrian Brody.
Yeah, Adrian Brody. Go on, watch the trailers on YouTube. We also have I missed this one here. 70 Days Adrift, which is a documentary about a gentleman's in peril out on the ocean, stranded, and based on the documentary, the book. And
kind of like Another Life of Pi without the tiger.
I thought it was about my high school career.
Yeah. But that's January 24th at 7:00, the 25th at 7:30. And January 26th at 2:00. There'll be a question and answer after each one of those shows. I would recommend everybody get your tickets soon. We have sold quite a few tickets to this. So that's going to be a documentary film here just coming up in another week or so. It'll be out here on the weekend of the Brutalist. So have a lot going on. A couple films.
And people should know to check the websites for both the Mystic Luxury Cinemas and the All South County, because if you're living in South County there and you're over in South Kingstown, Narragansett, there's your theater. If you're a little more west,
I could help you out even a little bit better. If you go to shorelineCinemas.com, that will give you a homepage that you'll be able to go to all 4 theaters.
Wonderful.
So that makes it a lot easier. And again, the Christmas films, or I should say the holiday films that'll be finishing up, Moana for the families, Mufasa, The Lion King, that's going to come to an end here on Thursday. Sonic the Hedgehog, that did very well. Great to see the families. And then Wicked. I think Wicked will go another week, but you're going to start seeing these films end.
When does Wicked come back with part 2?
That's Thanksgiving.
Next holiday?
That's Thanksgiving.
No, of course.
You see, and, you and I have talked about this, the distribution and being.
See, you learned me good all these years.
My office manager the other day, she was in the office with me, and she goes online and she starts looking at the release schedule, and she was a little blown away by seeing how things are out at 2027, 2028. We haven't even started 2025.
Have they even shot those movies, made those movies?
Oh, the answer is yes. And
so they're just sitting away.
It's called in the can. They're in the can. They're ready to go. Now, some of them may not be all finished. They may be in post-production. There may be certain things that have to be finished, but no, if you look on like Disney's or you look at Universal or Paramount, you will see their booking schedules, and they are years ahead. So the people at Universal, I don't
Amazing.
think, while we were selling the tickets to the patrons for Wicked, the people working at Universal Studios, they were already a couple years ahead of this. So again, it's when it works, it works. It's a lot of fun. People love coming to the movies. We do have our downtimes, and we have to get through those also.
Just amazing.
Yep.
So do you have any more live shows coming in? Do you have, well, you normally have opera coming in.
The season for the Metropolitan Opera has been announced. And again, if you go to our website, you can see the full schedule there. I would just like to remind everybody that we do the live broadcast of the operas in Mystic, Madison, and South Kingstown, but South Kingstown is the only one that does the encores a couple of days later. So if you're going to Mystic or Madison,
So it'll be like a Saturday and a Wednesday or something.
Exactly, yes. But because of the size of Mystic and Madison, we're not always able to do the encores. So if you're not able to see it on the at the live broadcast, South Kingstown does do an encore.
And what about your live? The psychic Patty, is she coming back?
Yes, but we've taken a little break from that right now. But I'm sure we'll be scheduling her back in early spring. She'll come back, and of course, all your friends from the Rocky Horror Picture Show,
they'll be back, won't they?
They will be back. I got an email from them the other day, and we also have had correspondence with the Mystic Film Festival, which will come back for another year. So again, see how far we have to be ahead of ourselves. That's going to be in September, October.
I was going to say that's usually fall.
But yet we have to work on that now because we have to block all that time out.
Rocky Horror comes back first Friday in March.
Yes, yep, in March.
Okay.
We take the winter off because of weather and folks traveling from quite a distance to come down and perform.
And Super Bowl Sunday, are you going to free broadcast again?
Yeah, it's funny. Somebody asked me about that the other day, and the answer is yes. And I'm sure when we get involved with the NCAA finals, we'll do that again.
For people who don't know, by the way, what we're talking about, which I think is such a great community thing, on these big things like the Super Bowl, or like you said, the NCAA, the finals, usually first Monday in April.
Yep.
You have this on your screens for free.
Free.
Community can come in. Hopefully, please buy popcorn. Please buy some drinks. Please buy very expensive milk duds.
But even if they don't, we're okay with that. I love doing those.
It's a great community thing to do.
It is. And I just would like to share with you a memory I had of, I believe it was the NCAA finals. And I went in there to see how everything was going and kind of chatted with a gentleman that was there. And he was just by himself. But he was having such a great time because initially he thought he would just go out to one of the local bars and watch the game, which is fun. And there's a place for that. And everybody loves to do that. However, he got to see it in kind of a different venue where he was just very comfortable, got to see it on the big screen. And
he could still have a beer.
You could have a beer.
Because you sell beer and wine.
But what was so strange in watching it on that big screen was you had quiet in the theater, or pretty much quiet. But every time there was a big play made or a big basket was made, you'd hear the whole theater just erupt. So that was a little different. You're not used to that.
You would hope so.
Yeah. But I just know that.
You didn't want them to sing during Taylor Swift's movie, but they did.
But yes, so I'd say to keep an eye on our websites and look for those. But we will do some of those free shows for the Super Bowls and NCAA finals. And
I had a question.
You always have a lot of them.
Yeah, I try to.
Yep.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
I know.
I did have a question that someone asked me because they were asking me about you and about the theaters. They wanted to know, are your theaters hiring?
Well, the answer is yes. But as I always say, you have to go see our general managers. If somebody's interested in working in Mystic, they can certainly go chat with Lorraine. You can go down to South County and they could have a nice chat with Raj. I don't get involved in any of the hiring. because I like to leave that up to my general managers to build the teams.
You just give them the rules once they're hired.
Everybody hears it once they get hired, and I have a simple rule that I demand from everybody that works at the theaters. And it's not about me. It's not about my partner. It's not about a landlord. It's about our local community theater. And what I mean by that is if you're going to work here, you have to care about this theater. If you don't, I will ask you to leave, or I will tell you to leave, because if you do not care about it, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb, because everybody else that is working there does care. And
I think it would be like the most awkward thing I've ever seen if I walked into Mystic Lux and like somebody didn't like their job.
That's right.
Yeah,
Right.
I've seen them. I've
good
seen
there.
them have like focus, so they're not like able to have a conversation with you. But I've never seen anybody like miserable.
No,
never.
No. Now, perfect? No. Do we make mistakes? Of course we do. But you have to care about the theater. You have to. I was just talking with our team over in Mystic. It has to work for both sides of the counter. Can you imagine all the patrons coming up and we have miserable people serving them? Or we're all excited to serve you and everybody's walking up and they're miserable because they know the place they're walking into is not well run, it's dirty, and we don't care. So people walking up that sidewalk with that mindset, that's not going to work for them and it's not going to work for us. So that's really...
I have to compliment you. The last time I was at the theater in Mystic, and I don't know what movie I had seen, but I think in all the years I've been going there, I think it was the first time I had used the ladies' room. And my God, it's immaculate in there. There are restaurants that aren't nearly as clean as that restroom.
Bill,
and so I commend your people.
Stop that.
I really do.
Stop that. Don't do that.
Oh, is he doing something bad?
He's doing something bad. He's fidgeting.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
I could hear that. I was like, what is that?
Fidgeting comes across.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, when you talk about the cleaning and maintenance on the theater,
It's really something to, and it's not like that everywhere. Lord knows.
Well, my team knows you do not leave that theater from that evening shift until that theater is ready, so that the next morning, the only thing we have to do is put the cash in the drawer and open. And that's the rule. You cannot leave until that is ready, because it will never work, especially the way we go on so early at 9:30 in the morning.
Which brings me to when you said Christmas morning, you had 8:30, 9 o'clock shows.
Yep.
How many popcorn machines do you have? And how, when you said it just goes all day, all night, how can they keep up with it? Because most people that come in get popcorn.
Yep.
They may get candy as well, or Nathan's hot dog, but they're coming for popcorn. How do they keep up with it?
You're just popping all day. I don't know what else to say.
How many machines do you have?
Up in South Kingston, we have 2 50-ounce poppers. Mystic only has 1 20-ounce popper. So in South Kingston, we can really, really pop a lot.
And was South Kingstown
Once you pop, you
open
just can't
Christmas morning as well?
They went on, I think, about 3 o'clock.
Wow. And they did well.
Yes, all the theaters did well. Something I'm very proud of. This, I keep having trouble with the name again. Complete Unknown.
Yes.
It ran on 26.
Oh, the Bob Dylan movie.
It ran on 2,600 screens in the United States. Madison was number 57, I think, out of the whole country.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And so I thank everybody out there for supporting the theaters. It's important that we have these theaters in the community. I'm very biased to movie theaters, obviously, very sappy to them, whatever word you want to use. But once they're gone from the community, they're gone. And look right downtown. They did a beautiful job right here getting the United open, but that was closed for 40 years.
Yes, it sure was.
And so that was a void in this town. So it's nice to see that back. And you can go right down the shoreline, Niantic, the town of Niantic. I'm sure they would have loved to have been able to go down to see Wicked at their local community theater
That's
on
right.
Christmas week. They didn't have that option anymore. The town of Groton, Brantford, Luckily, they have to come to my theater now, but
Yeah. I
you
have
know.
a friend who lives in Brantford. In fact, I was with them in Essex last Saturday night, and she was talking about the fact that we don't have any theaters around
That's
us.
right. That's right, and that is so important. We refurbished the during the pandemic that Madison Theater, and that was done through a federal grant. And I was so proud that day when Dick Blumenthal and Joe Courtney and Susan Bisowicz came down and they did a press conference from our lobby and showing what that money,
Where it
went, and
Yeah.
I couldn't think of any better project in my world than to refurbish an institution like the Madison Cinema and give that back to the community. The theater is 100 years old. Well, we just refurbished it. Hopefully, it'll be there for another 100 years. Because can you imagine if you took that little theater out of downtown Madison and put a CBS?
Ugh.
No.
Or, nobody would care.
Right.
Nobody would care.
Or a Duncan, another
Right.
Duncan.
But boy, take away a movie theater, and people are going to
Yeah.
care. They really are. So,
Let me ask you one more thing. When you mentioned Lorraine, your manager in Mystic,
yes,
it made me think that you have not mentioned today, and you should, about parties, corporate anniversary parties, birthday parties, and what the theaters do.
one of the things that we were able to develop over the pandemic was a rental program in Mystic, as you and I have spoken about, and it has really, really taken off. It started during the pandemic, and it just continues to snowball, because what happens is anybody that came to a private rental now, a few years later, maybe it's their turn and they have a child or a friend and they want to go do their own private rental. So if you have any interest in doing any private rentals, whether it's a film that we have, on the streaming, it could be a DVD, really any format, you can rent our theaters. And I would suggest you give Lorraine a call at 860-536-4228. Her phone does not stop ringing. She must take, I'll bet you 2 calls a day for rentals. And
that's a lot.
It really is. And they're a lot of work, because they do require different things. Some people may have a birthday party, other people might have some type of office visit, and they have some type of things they've got to give out. But
you should say that number again, like slowly.
Sure. How about, if you're interested in a theater rental, contact Lorraine, 860-536-4228.
All right.
And it is appearing right at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah.
And a lot
Bill,
of fun.
Thank you. As it's always a quick hour with you. Thank you again.
Can I come back next month?
If you're good.
Okay. I'm sure I'll get a text from you.
Yeah, I'll send you a little reminder. I'm stopping early before we go to our break and then our next guest. I want to remind people that tonight, because I'm looking right at the library, from 5:30 to 7:30, they have a program open to the community called Martin Luther King Jr., the Man, the Myth, the Martyr. There will be short readings from things he had written. There will be discussions, refreshments. This is sponsored by the Westerly Peace and Justice Group, along with the Westerly ARC, which is the Anti-Racism Coalition, and the Rotary Club of Westerly. So they do it every year, and it only gets better. Between 5:30 and 7:30 tonight, right at the Westerly Library. We are going to take a break now, listen to some local folks. When we come back, we are very happy to have somebody brand new to us, but not to the community, Dr. Jonathan Gates. He is the Chief Medical Officer of Wood River Health. He's going to tell us why everybody's walking around so damn sick the last couple of weeks. And please do not call in and ask for any kind of diagnosis. Do not ask for what should I take or can I bring my kid. Just listen and be good. And then you can call and make an appointment at Wood River Health, which is great place. I can tell you, I am one of their one of their what? Patients,
One of
I
their
guess.
PETAs.
I mean, I usually tell my friend Sarah Channing, who works there, that I'm one of those people they're going to practice on. There's something about practice of medicine that always scares me. Anyway, listen to the local folks and come back and meet Dr. Gates.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
Hot summers and cold winters can be unbearable, but D&V Mechanical has the solution for you. As a Mitsubishi Diamond dealer, we provide energy-efficient and personalized comfort solutions for your home. Our experienced technicians will install your new system quickly and efficiently, ensuring your complete satisfaction. Don't suffer through another season of discomfort. Contact D&V Mechanical today for a personalized ductless mini-split installation that fits your lifestyle. D&V Mechanical, your comfort is our top priority.
Hi, I'm Chris Kozłowski, owner of Broadview Florist and Garden Center in Dunn's Corners. For over 40 years, our family-owned business has been your go-to destination for beautiful, custom-made floral arrangements. Whether it's a special event or just to brighten up your day, we create highest quality designs tailored just for you. Trust Broadview Florists to make every moment unforgettable. Visit us today or give us a call at 401-322-0390.
Are you looking for a fresh cut in Westerly? Step into Rio's Barber Shop in Granite Plaza. Whether it's a classic trim or a trendy new look, we've got you covered. Experience the perfect cut for every age and style in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. At Rio's, it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Visit Rio's Barber Shop in the Granite Plaza in Westerly or give us a call to schedule your appointment at 401-315-2208. Your style, our craft, Rio's Barber Shop.
I am Jim Howe. My practice is focused on representing people injured in car accidents, representing people injured in premises liability, represent people in all walks of life. I say all the time that I represent the underdog, and by the underdog I mean the person who is injured and is facing lawyers that are hired by insurance companies. If you unfortunately find yourself injured in an automobile collision or in any other circumstance where insurance may come into play, think of giving me a call.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Ever thought about leveling up your fitness game in a fun and meaningful way? Kiefer's Martial Arts on Granite Street has everything you're looking for. Kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and of course, adult karate. It's not just about getting fit, it's about building your self-confidence, discipline, and that unstoppable feeling you get from all your hard work. Stop into Kiefer's Martial Arts today to sign up.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
Brunch has arrived at Surf Cantina every Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And don't miss our weekly specials like Monday Night Industry Night, Taco Tuesday with DJ Trivia, $1 Wing Wednesdays, Reggae Thursdays, DJs every weekend at 10 p.m., and karaoke on Sundays at 8. Only at Surf Cantina, 15 Canal Street in downtown Westerly.
Hi, I'm Neil Anthus, owner of Sound Financial Partners. We're a full-service financial planning practice dedicated to optimizing your investment, tax, and cash flow strategies. As fiduciaries, we always keep our advisory clients' best interest in mind when making recommendations. Whether you're preparing for retirement or growing your business, we're here to help you achieve your financial goals. Ready to start your journey to financial success? Visit us at our Wesley office or give us a call at 401-642-4333.
Are you looking for a fresh cut in Westerly? Step into Rio's Barber Shop in Granite Plaza. Whether it's a classic trim or a trendy new look, we've got you covered. Experience the perfect cut for every age and style in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. At Rio's, it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Visit Rio's Barber Shop in the Granite Plaza in Westerly or give us a call to schedule your appointment at 401-315-2208. Your style, our craft, Rio's Barber Shop.
Oh, well, we're almost ready.
Are we on?
We're playing,
as they
yeah,
say?
we're playing musical chairs.
Yes. Welcome back to Man About Town on 321 Media here in beautiful downtown Westerly. And we are very happy to have with us the head guy, the chief medical officer at Wood River Health, main office, walking distance from my house. I love it. It's around the corner in Hope Valley, and one right here in Westerly, and with some of the finest doctors, nurses, etc. going. I was reading last night in the AARP bulletin, where have all the doctors gone? And I thought, oh, this is coming at a really good time. And this is talking about why it's so hard to find a doctor, what the time is averaged from the time someone needs an appointment till they get one. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but you can take it with you because I read the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll take it.
And it's I think that's a problem today. That's all we hear is that people say I needed a doctor and I called and they can't take me for 3 months or they can't take me. And I know the one thing that you did, according to my friend Sarah, who is I always forget, my Lord, she's communications and development officer.
Yeah.
But you started Express Care.
We did.
And Express Care, and I'm going to let you talk about it, but it is for current patients and also for patients of other providers who need same day appointments. So something happens to someone and you call Wood River, they don't say, are you a patient here? Or I'm sorry, we don't have anything open till April. You did that, and that's fantastic.
To be fair, we're not quite ready to take folks who aren't established with us, but we are planning that in the not so distant future.
Okay. So other providers would mean other providers within Wood River.
That's right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. No, we'd like to offer that service to the community. Different people have different ways of consuming healthcare, right?
Yes.
Some of us want to go in X number of times per year, see the same primary care provider. I find a number of younger folks prefer to just, I don't feel right today, I'll just do something today.
Right.
So that's a piece of that puzzle. New patients, we're in the process of onboarding a physician that I imagine at least 1,500 people know. Dr. Fox, yes.
I have never met Dr. Fox, but I have heard about him for years because they have since moved away, and I'm not even sure they're still with us, but they were an older couple and they loved their Dr. Fox. And it was what you were saying. They weren't going to go anywhere but, and that was it. And all I heard about for years was Dr. Fox. And then I've heard about him from other people. What a great diagnostician he is. And how'd you get him?
Oh, well.
Other than Wood River Health is a great draw. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it relates back to the lack of providers in general in Rhode Island you mentioned. And there are a lot of factors to that. But as things get squished, people get squished into fewer and fewer practices. Those practices sometimes have to, see people every 10 or 15 minutes, and that's pretty fast. and it can be very demanding. An experienced physician like Dr. Fox could handle that, but he also wants to retire at some point.
I've never met him. I have no idea where he is age-wise.
Yeah. Well, I want to retire too. Don't get me wrong. But that's a ways away. So the express piece of this was designed to meet the needs of someone who's sick today, right? So as those offices around Rhode Island have filled up, the odds of you being able to be seen the same day drop. There's only so many people we can make room for and see double booked patients and so forth.
There's a big difference, though, between same day and we have something in 4 months or whatever.
Right.
Which really upsets people.
It does. And
because usually that's the specialist.
Right.
And that when someone needs a specialist, they need them now.
That's right. So the purpose on that one was that allows us to run full schedules. Most of our providers are somewhere between 2 weeks to the next appointment. Some of them are out as much as 6 weeks. It doesn't mean you won't get in, but you kind of have to call each day if that's the case. On the other hand, we put in this express process because we don't want people to have to go somewhere else who doesn't know you, who doesn't care about your long-term health, who has no records. I mean, all of these things. So it sounds like urgent care, but it's not really urgent care, right? It's better informed.
It certainly sounds that way, and that's great.
Yeah.
So if someone is a patient now, and I am guessing if they haven't been to Wood River in a while because they're very healthy or they haven't had a need, they don't know about this, about express care.
They may not.
And they should. I would think you really want to get the PR working and get it out there to let everyone know that this exists.
Absolutely. And
I mean, Wood River is, I think the line is your home for health.
That's right.
They've got just about everything there. And I know I was under the impression before I became a patient that it was for low income and community health center, period.
Mm-hmm.
And found out how wrong I was, that it's for everybody.
But who nowadays is not low income.
That you have a point there. So, about 40% of our patients are on the Medicaid insurance in Rhode Island, which, by the way, has also come a long way. But that's part of our mission. That's part of why we're a federally qualified health center. We take care of folks who don't have any insurance. And there's a sliding scale option if you're employed but don't have insurance. We have lots of ways of making things work.
All right, so let's get back to what I started with, because last Friday I had to do a photo shoot at a business, a large business, and I walked in there and the place was empty. And I said to the sales manager, "Where is everybody?" And she said, "There's only 3 of us on the floor right now. Everyone else has influenza A."
Yep.
And then I had, the very next day, I was supposed to have lunch with a colleague who works for another radio station. And I got a very sad email from him saying, "I've never been so sick in my whole life. I have norovirus."
Wow.
And so does everybody in the station.
Yeah.
And that's all we seem to hear about. Is it strictly because it's colder? Is it because those little germ factories have gone back to school and daycare? What is it?
That's a complicated question, but because
you're a doctor, you're supposed to know.
we thought when kids went back to school during COVID that we were going to see a big rush of new cases, and we didn't see a whole lot of that, at least not in the older kids. But every year, I think everyone's used to that peak flu and cold season.
Right.
The part of the reason for that is our gatherings, right? So when everyone gets together for Thanksgiving or Christmas or what have you, it only takes one person, using the same door handle to pass to somebody else. And
Yeah, they say that norovirus is really, really one that you get fast, and it can be just touching a telephone, shaking hands, the door handle.
And norovirus is a good pick because it is not killed by alcohol cleansers for your hands, like the gel stuff.
Okay, I'm not terrified at all. Thank you.
You have to wash with soap and water, and not to be picky, but it really should be about 20 seconds worth of moving the soap around on your hands.
We don't have to sing happy birthday, do we?
No,
Like they wanted us to do with COVID.
I recommend Yankee Doodle, actually.
Okay. But yeah, that is tough. It really is, because, you think about, I'm sitting here and I'm drinking this lemonade, and then I touch the mic, and then I put my hand to my mouth or my nose.
Yep, or your eye.
And, and who knows?
Who knows? You don't know. And that's
There's
one of the
really
reasons.
no way to protect other than wash your hands.
Wash your hands for sure. Definitely with norovirus, right? And with the influenza, COVID, and frankly the common cold, that's both hard surface and respiratory. So people sneeze or cough or what have you, it's in the air and you can breathe that in. And that was the whole logic behind having people wear a mask. One, the person who's sick, it tends to contain those droplets in the mask. The other side, if it comes towards you, it tends some of them at least get filtered by that. So
I see a lot more people wearing masks now than before, mostly older people, and mostly in a store like a Walmart, a big box store, or a Stop and Shop, a big store. But I do see a lot more of that.
You do, and I think there's a lot of folks who've just gotten used to that as being safe, and nothing wrong with that. In healthcare, we have to be more stringent because we have people coming in who are immunosuppressed. They don't fight off illness as well. They may have lung conditions that make them higher risk for getting hospitalized if they get one of these. So anybody who's even has a sniffle is going to wear a mask coming in as a patient. And anytime we're remotely concerned about an infectious process, the providers generally wear a mask as well.
I have a good friend who lives here in Westerly, 13 years it'll be in May. She had a kidney transplant.
Oh, yes,
and
exactly.
She wears a mask all the time. And she said all of a sudden she's noticed her doctors are wearing it because she has to have infusions every month. She has a real problem with rejection. But she was telling me just yesterday, she said, that's something I hadn't seen for quite a while. But she said the doctors are wearing masks.
Yeah, since over the last couple of years, they've gotten better and better at monitoring this stuff. So the CDC was always monitoring influenza. They actually monitor it where it starts in the animal husbandry, chickens, pigs, cows, and then they sort of take their best guess.
That's where flu comes from.
Really? It is, yeah. It's typically from other animals, and it'll make a leap, apparently about once a year, into humans.
So Gadget, all those ducks you've got around, don't you have a whole bunch of ducks around your backyard?
I do. Yes. And there's been a lot of precautions we've taken. We haven't gotten any more ducks because of bird flu. If my flock is infected, then introducing more ducks is just going to make more ducks suffer. Also, the ducks we introduced could have bird flu, and then that will kill my flock. So we're letting this flock completely phase out on itself.
Yeah,
and
that sounds wise.
Probably take a break.
Yeah.
And
they are talking about a new influenza A. I believe it's in Michigan.
Microphone.
I believe it's in Michigan. And that seems to be one that cropped up in the U.S. as opposed to where we usually see it kind of in the South Pacific.
We've actually even like Roxy, her dog treats, we won't do chicken. We won't do turkey. We've switched to either salmon and lamb or beef, but we'll pay very close attention to our food. There's been leaks into pet foods.
Yeah.
Not that this is an hour with the animal lady, but yeah, we're staying away from poultry as a whole.
Yeah. Well, I like to say I'm a veterinarian that only treats one kind of animal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go to a vet.
They know a lot.
This is probably a stupid question or a loaded question. People that are coming to Wood River of late, what are they coming for? Everything, or is it a lot of flu and colds and?
It's everything, for sure, because anyone who's established and has primary care is coming in for regular visits. Those visits are more common when you have more problems. And
I have never, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
that's
interrupt,
okay.
but I have never understood people going to an ER with a sore throat or because they're sneezing. I just want to go smack those people in the waiting room, you know. And
I was
say,
in the waiting room because I had kidney. I didn't know I had kidney stones. I swear to God that I got bit by a shark.
Oh, boy.
Like
Yeah,
I didn't.
right.
It just hurt so bad. It felt like they said, "What does
Yes.
it feel like?" I said, "It feels like a shark ate my ribs."
Yep.
And they were like, okay. So I'm sitting there and it got to the point where I'm scream crying. I've never cried like this before in my life. And I almost went to jail that day. I heard somebody come over. They come into the waiting room to ask, like, can we like triage you out here? Like, what's going on with you? And this man, this full grown man said, my finger hurts.
and you almost did something very bad, I'm sure.
I almost
to
broke
that
it the hell
man.
off. I almost broke his damn finger off.
Oh,
I was
boy.
so mad.
But there are people, unfortunately, that do that, which is why having express care is such a great idea.
I think it is. We don't do it's not an urgent care, so there's no specialty copay for it. If you have a copay, it's the same as you're visiting your primary care provider. And
That's good too.
Right. It's 6 days a week. We often have it late, at least in the Hope Valley, up till 8 p.m.
Wow.
And all we ask is you give us a call ahead, or our website has a link where you can do online scheduling.
And that's good for pediatric as well as adults.
It is. Any age can do that.
Terrific.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of thing. I mean, the guy with his sore finger or someone with a cold.
So damn
That's
mad.
what I mean. Well, that's me. I would not go to anybody because I had a cold. I stay home and take zinc, and it works very well.
That's right.
But there's a difference between a cold and your throat is terribly inflamed, because that could be strep or,
Yes.
you know, and I know you have to go for stuff like that.
Yeah.
But isn't it great to know that there is express care? Because I just don't understand why people want to go to the hospital, and they'll say, well, my doctor's not working today, or he's off on Wednesday, so I went to the hospital.
That is a great point. One of the things we do is we practice a model called the patient-centered medical home. And that means although you have a primary care provider with us, we expect everybody at the organization in their role to be able to do what you need that they would normally do for maybe one of their patients. So even if your provider's on vacation with us, we always have somebody who's covering them 24/7. We always look into the task box and other things that come in. And any one of us is able to, see you, do refills, do whatever you need in that capacity.
You guys run a great ship. You really do. And it seems that, at least from the amount of emails that I get, you're always adding something for the community. You're always doing something. I mean, a couple of years ago, it was a real expansion with mental health.
Yes.
And you've done a lot with dental now, even on Block Island. So
yes,
I'm very impressed with Wood River Health, and people should investigate if they're looking for good medical care. They really should.
I think they should. You can find our quality scores on the HRSA website, but we were in or right next to the top decile in multiples, recognized by the AHA for heart care, diabetes as well. So we know how to do it. We've got dentistry, as you mentioned, integrated behavioral health for counseling. We have an on-site pharmacy at our Hope Valley location, on-site lab
That's
at
right.
both.
I forgot about that.
And Westerly, we just opened up another floor right below where we used to be, or well, we still are now. So we have 2 floors.
So wait, what does that mean? Does that mean that like I go see the doctor and I have a sore throat, I have strep or something, and they prescribe amoxicillin. I go right like downstairs and get.
Yeah, you can do that at Hope Valley location. At the Hope Valley, you can.
All right.
Yep. In fact, that's the most common use for me anyway, because I do mostly express. And I just say, hey, do you want to get that on your way back to the car?
I do.
Yes, I do.
I indeed do. I don't want to run around all around town when I'm sick, which is why I usually skip the doctor until it's bad enough to go to the emergency room.
No, they're also good about doing things like pill packing. So if you have complicated medication regimen, they'll put it in blister packs for you, so you know what day of the week you just have to go to the right.
That's especially good for elderly people.
Elderly, I want that.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I said especially good for, not only good for.
There you go. That's right.
No, that is good. It really, because you get people that are really busy and they say, I don't remember. Did I take that this morning? I'm supposed to take it once a day. I don't know if I did or not. Yeah. So it makes sense. It certainly does.
Yeah. And circling back to the earlier point, we have lots of people on Medicare, all those Advantage plans. I don't think there's any insurance we don't take. And Blue Cross would be our largest commercial insurer. So we've got patients of all types, all kinds. It kind of reflects the community, if you will. And we have care management stuff too. So some people who are having a especially difficult time will assign a nurse or a community health worker to help them. We've got a van to bring you in if your car is busted or you don't have one for that matter.
I didn't realize that. So you can provide transportation if sorely needed.
They just got all new vans like a year or two ago.
That's
right?
Yeah.
They're beautiful. You definitely know it's Wood River Health. You're not going to get scammed. You're not going to jump into somebody's car that's like a stranger. If it doesn't look like it's from Wood River Health, and you will know it is not.
Good point. Yeah.
Do you do anything with things like weight management, smoking cessation?
Yeah, those are good questions. We actually do.
Alcohol.
Yeah, one of our community health workers is a certified tobacco cessation counselor. And what we find is with that, if you're counseled and or use some medication, the odds are much better for quitting smoking. We also have a dedicated nurse care manager for helping with something called medication-assisted therapy, which is for people who have become dependent on opiates, produce them for a long time, and also for alcohol. So if you want to stay off of those things, we're here to help you do that.
Okay, here's a question I probably shouldn't ask, but I have to.
Okay.
Opiates. A lot of the problem with that was begun with doctors.
You can say that, yep.
And I'm not blaming doctors 100%, but I know that they're part of it. I did for quite a long time sell health insurance.
I thought you were going to say drugs.
Oh boy.
No, I can remember having a guy that we couldn't insure. They just would not insure him. He was a young man and he'd had that problem. And he said he had fallen. I think he was skiing or something. He fell. He really racked up his back and he was in terrible pain. And the doctor was giving him that because it was helping.
Yes.
One was helping, then not so much. Then it was 2, then it was 5. But he wound up with a serious drug problem. And I know that's happened to a lot of people. Not everyone with a drug problem is in an alley somewhere.
You're absolutely right.
Your next door neighbor, they're your employer, they're people you see every day. And how do you get around that? Because obviously, if someone's in pain, only certain things will work. It's got to be so difficult for doctors to know how much to give, do I give, and when to pull it back.
Yeah, I mean, the example you're giving is somebody who had a trauma, so they got hurt all at once, right?
Yeah.
And in that acute phase,
and then they were uninsurable.
Also, that happens in the United States, but very appropriate to give painkillers during that initial rehab. You do have to have a conversation about weaning them. So you need a care team that talks amongst itself and says, this is the plan, this is what we're going to do. But trauma, car accidents in particular, are one of the larger risk factors for somebody becoming dependent on those medicines.
Oh, because the pain's got to be horrible.
It's horrible. And there's two things. One is a dependence. That just means you hurt if you don't get it. And two is addiction. And the difference between those is the addicted person will commit crimes to get the stuff, right? The person who's dependent on it generally will suffer for a couple of days badly if they don't have it, and then you can resume if you need to, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. So it's the care management team then gets together. It's not put on the poor old doctor's shoulders.
We work together. We work together. So the doctor or the nurse practitioner in many cases will prescribe. We only use a medicine called Suboxone. We don't do methadone treatment. And that medicine Suboxone is really neat. I won't bore you with the chemistry, but well, you could, and I wouldn't understand a damn word you were saying, but that's okay. Let's say heroin, which is around for forever. Let's say it's at 100%. Well, the Suboxone will run around 70% in terms of that pain relief thing, but it knocks off everything else. So folks who are taking Suboxone, even if they have a bad night and relapse, they don't get the same effect from that relapse. So it really helps people stay on that program. They don't hurt because it has some opiate effect, and they don't get any joy from other opiates.
What would Suboxone do in the face of fentanyl? Would it takes the edge off of the fentanyl and the interaction with the opioid in order to minimize a drug over? I call it a poisoning when they get fentanyl, because nobody was buying fentanyl to begin with unless you were buying fentanyl. But I mean, there's things getting cut with fentanyl, and then we have Narcan to cut it. But would Suboxone do something similar?
Suboxone does do something similar. It doesn't get rid of all of the effect of what you may have taken. And in fact, I'm glad you brought up fentanyl. That is now become a generic term as opposed to the original brand medicine. And what we're seeing, what you see out on the streets is actually derivatives of fentanyl. Carfentanil is one of them, but they're 1,000.
The derivatives are what's killing people.
They're
right?
1,000 times more potent than fentanyl. Fentanyl is only used in an ICU, to put that clearly. And unfortunately, people who get dusted by this stuff can be knocked out if they're not tolerant of them. Right through their skin, which is actually quite difficult with medicine. So Suboxone, we wouldn't use it in that setting necessarily, but
I saw that happen to a police detective. Actually,
yeah, you did. Yeah.
Got dusted and wound up in the hospital.
Yep.
Nearly died.
That's the
because
thing
it
too.
went right in the skin.
There was a epidemic of young adults inhaling alcohol to get drunk quicker, and that got nipped in the bud because you can't do anything when you inhale it. You can't vomit. Your stomach doesn't purge it. It's in your blood. Your lungs go straight to your bloodstream. So like when you're inhaling dust or even touching it and absorbing through the skin, when it goes into your bloodstream, that is it. There's no charcoal that's going to save you.
That's true.
We are going to take a short break. We'll be back to Know Your Pusher very soon. It's amazing how much I'm always
I've had a lot of jobs.
How much intelligence you have about this. But yes, we will be back with Dr. Gates and with more from Wood River Health and more from Man About Town right after this.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
Hot summers and cold winters can be unbearable, but D&V Mechanical has the solution for you. As a Mitsubishi Diamond dealer, we provide energy-efficient and personalized comfort solutions for your home. Our experienced technicians will install your new system quickly and efficiently, ensuring your complete satisfaction. Don't suffer through another season of discomfort. Contact D&V Mechanical today for a personalized ductless mini-split installation that fits your lifestyle. D&V Mechanical, your comfort is our top priority.
Hi, I'm Chris Kozłowski, owner of Broadview Florist and Garden Center in Duns Corners. For over 40 years, our family-owned business has been your go-to destination for beautiful, custom-made floral arrangements. Whether it's a special event or just to brighten up your day, we create highest quality designs tailored just for you. Trust Broadview Florists to make every moment unforgettable. Visit us today or give us a call at 401-322-0390.
Are you looking for a fresh cut in Westerly? Step into Rio's Barber Shop in Granite Plaza. Whether it's a classic trim or a trendy new look, we've got you covered. Experience the perfect cut for every age and style in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. At Rio's, it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Visit Rio's Barber Shop in the Granite Plaza in Westerly or give us a call to schedule your appointment at 401-315-2208. Your style, our craft, Rio's Barber Shop.
I am Jim Howe. My practice is focused on representing people injured in car accidents, representing people injured in premises liability, represent people in all walks of life. I say all the time that I represent the underdog, and by the underdog I mean the person who is injured and is facing lawyers that are hired by insurance companies. If you unfortunately find yourself injured in an automobile collision or in any other circumstance where insurance may come into play, think of giving me a call.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Ever thought about leveling up your fitness game in a fun and meaningful way? Kiefer's Martial Arts on Granite Street has everything you're looking for. Kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and of course, adult karate. It's not just about getting fit, it's about building your self-confidence, discipline, and that unstoppable feeling you get from all your hard work. Stop into Kiefer's Martial Arts today to sign up.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Duns Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Duns Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
Brunch has arrived at Surf Cantina every Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And don't miss our weekly specials like Monday Night Industry Night, Taco Tuesday with DJ Trivia, $1 Wing Wednesdays, Reggae Thursdays, DJs every weekend at 10 p.m. and karaoke on Sundays at 8. Only at Surf Cantina, 15 Canal Street in downtown Westerly.
Hi, I'm Neil Anthus, owner of Sound Financial Partners. We're a full-service financial planning practice dedicated to optimizing your investment, tax, and cash flow strategies. As fiduciaries, we always keep our advisory clients' best interests in mind when making recommendations. Whether you're preparing for retirement or growing your business, we're here to help you achieve your financial goals. Ready to start your journey to financial success? Visit us at our Wesley office or give us a call at 401-642-4333.
We're back at Man About Town, and today Man About Town is exploring everything Wood River Health with Dr. Jonathan Gates, who has brought Express Care services to Wood River. And we were talking during the break off the air about why are the doctors leaving? And you said you wanted to talk to that point, because I know I have spoken with people, more older people, but not always. Something happens and you need a specialist. Mm-hmm. And there may only be 2 of them in the area who do this particular thing.
Right.
And you call and their receptionist or nurse says he or she has nothing till November.
Yeah.
But I need someone now. What are people to do?
There are only a few options, right? Sometimes you're forced out of state, and then your insurance company, you may have to talk with them about it. But the way that we're actually adapting to that is something we've really always done, and that is we try to keep a range of different providers, different ages, different experience, different walks of life. Where do they come from? Where do they train? And because we do that patient-centered medical home team, where we can talk with each other, I can go ask our senior family practitioner, what do you think of this? And I'll say, well, it's one joint, it's the knee, and it's red. Did you check for Lyme? And I said, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that.
I love you so much.
Right? So.
Do you know how hard it is? It's so hard out there. I got told I was crazy when I asked
know
for a Lyme test.
You've been through a bunch of doctors and things.
There's
too.
the Lyme war. Some doctors believe in it and others don't. I don't know how you don't believe in Lyme. The test is right there.
Lyme exists. It's the chronic bit that we argue about.
Right.
So that's one way to do that. You keep a larger group together, and you have more people you can ask questions of, or at least internally consult.
All right, I get it. When you just said doctors arguing, we got into a really loud, not me, but a really loud argument in the middle of the Griswold Inn Saturday
I've been
night.
there. That's a nice place.
It's a very nice place.
Oh my goodness.
But we started talking about COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And this man at the table started talking about Dr. Fauci. And he thought he was a charlatan. And about wearing masks. And the woman he was with, his woman, I got very quiet and started eating a lot so I wouldn't have to yell. She started saying Dr. Fauci's a hero.
Yeah.
And he said, no, he's not. And they started going back and forth. And then she said, don't all doctors agree on everything? And you're saying, no.
No, they don't, especially
they probably don't all agree on should we have worn masks or vaccinations.
Yeah, I think that's a very complicated, long topic, but
we're not going anywhere. Neither are you. You're not going home for dinner.
I'll put it this way: when COVID first came out, a good friend of mine in a different industry who does risk management called and said, "What is this thing? What do I have to do? What do I have to tell my company about this?" I said, "Well, it's just starting. We've only just started to see what happens to people when they're in the hospital." Well, that means we weren't seeing what happened to everybody outside the hospital.
That brought him to the hospital.
Right. So at the beginning, the data that we had was not great, and it looked like a very scary virus, right? Because the only thing we saw were the folks who made it to the hospital and then got studied there.
And it was hysteria in the hospitals. People were being treated in the hallways.
Yes.
There were no beds.
Yes.
People were dying.
Yep.
People couldn't get in to see their loved ones. It was crazy.
Right. And, at this point, enough people have been vaccinated that we have a little bit of what we call herd immunity. Like even if you get COVID again, it's usually milder. And as they've developed the tools to track mutations in viruses over the year, not dissimilar from influenza, I expect every year or two we'll have a different booster for COVID as well.
So people will be told as their protocol every year, get a flu shot, get a COVID shot. If you're older or have bad lungs, it's an RSV.
That's right.
Shot.
Yes. Yeah.
So you just have holes in your arms.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can get all three of those the same day if you want.
Be like Swiss cheese.
Have a great night then.
It's the tetanus.
They should put it all together in one like they do with dogs where they have, don't they have distemper and rabies and something else all in one
and
shot?
Lyme. I have a question from a listener. Sure. I don't know what these words mean, but I'm going to say them. Okay. I hope you know what they mean. Any opinions of the different levels of care allopathy versus osteopathy care.
Yeah. So I'm an allopath, which means I'm a MD, medical doctor. Osteopathy is the school of DOs, a doctor of osteopathy.
I know what an osteopath is. Yeah, they do a lot of back work and orthopedic work.
So, right. So in the past, they had a very different philosophy about how to approach wellness or disease, as the case may be. And they did focus on doing manipulation, which is the back type work. And the craniosacral therapy does seem to be beneficial to some folks with back pain, particularly chronic back pain. I would say in the last 30, 35 years, we all study from the same textbooks. We all go to the same residencies. We all talk to each other pleasantly. I mean, unless there's, disagreement.
You don't yell in the middle of the Griswold Tavern.
Not if I can help it. No, not for those reasons.
So are we saying like osteopathy is like chiropractor?
Kind
of.
Isn't it?
Well, I made the mistake of saying that once, and I don't say it anymore.
Okay.
That was yelling, probably. Right.
So whereas a chiropractor focuses on alignment, I'm not a DO, so I'll tell you what I think happens. They're actually stretching, they're changing the way the muscles oriented, and through that manipulation, they're making you feel better. So
like cupping?
Cupping is cupping is an important practice. It's not particularly associated with either one of us. It works on the principle, in my opinion, of counter irritant. So much like if you scratch something, it feels better if it was itchy.
Right.
The nice thing about the cupping is it stays there for a good 20 minutes. So you have time, and that changes how the muscles underneath are responding, the reflex arcs, if you will.
I want to look into this. That was a great question, Bill.
Yeah.
That was an excellent
He's from
question.
Seattle, just to give you a background with him. And he says that their medical staff seems to be heavy with the osteopathic providers.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, we used to have osteopathic and allopathic hospitals. There was a DO hospital in Rhode Island. I'm blanking on the name.
Wild. I never even.
Yeah. And they really were two different camps for a long time. But like I say, they actually share the same residency matching service now. So you don't have to go into one or the other. You just say which one you want, whether you want the DO.
So is there a bit of a systemic bias in the medical world then? Like you have the osteopathic and the allopathic.
Allopathic, yeah. I mean,
and then is that where the opinions come from? Is that where the butting heads come from with chronic versus not chronic?
Yeah, I couldn't blame it on that. But all I can say is we're gradually coming together as a profession, right?
Okay.
We use the same information. We basically make the same decisions based on the evidence, and it's really only something that's sort of brand new or something that we don't have a lot of information on where we start to express opinions. Okay. As you train as a physician, it's actually an apprenticeship as much as anything else. So,
is that why they call it, and I'm not trying to be funny, practicing medicine?
That is exactly why we call it.
Well, it's continuing ed. I mean, you have that in insurance, you have that in regular education.
You got it.
You have that in a lot of areas.
I think COVID brought a lot to light too, practicing medicine, because medicine is a science, and science is not an absolute, but it's a continued.
They don't agree on COVID, where it came from.
No, right, but
how it
so
came,
we said that they're
Mm.
not doing their job because it's not over, and it's well, no, it's not over because we don't understand it yet.
Well, the flu's not over either. It's been around for a few centuries.
Right, but people thought if you got a vaccine, COVID was over, where the vaccine just meant you probably didn't die. Science is a continuing journey, so you're practicing it always. The top scientist in the world is still practicing, because the point is to prove your theory right or wrong, but not be biased on the outcome.
That's exactly right. I like that explanation.
I can remember growing up, and I was telling this to someone the other day. I was saying I had holes, I think, in my arms because if there was a vaccine, my mother made me get it. But I got every damn one of the diseases. I'm sure they weren't made as well as they are today, but I had measles, German measles, mumps, chicken pox. I even had whooping cough, the whole deal. And this person I was talking to said to me, what's the difference between measles and German measles? And I said, well, I remember German measles was no big deal. And measles, we had to have all the blinds closed. You could go blind from high fever. It was a big deal.
Well, maybe it's mostly because we don't live
And then
in
I
Germany.
remember being in the 8th grade and the Asiatic flu came around. And me and one little boy were the only 2 people that didn't get it. And they actually closed the school down. What's Asiatic flu? Is it like the lab in Wuhan kind of idea? I never thought about it before.
There are labs that work on viruses doing research.
It's another strain,
I
right?
don't have a strong opinion. It's going to be another strain. So corona or COVID is one of a group of viruses that we tend to see spread about every 7 years. So about every 7 years, something will happen where it's infectious enough that we start to get worried about it. You may remember MERS.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Also same kind of virus. And there's one other one there.
Yeah,
SARS.
if you were in the
Escaping me.
hospital for anything, they had you in
SARS.
long yellow gowns in a room away and all that. Yeah, that was, I've heard. And that came from water, didn't it? And and animals can get that. Dogs can get MRSA.
They can. The MERS was the virus that I believe came out in the Middle East, but it was very much like COVID. MRSA or MRSA is a bacterial colonization, which means it lives on you, right? Doesn't hurt you, but it lives on you.
Lives on you.
And then it waits for you to get a scratch, right? And then it gets in there just like every other bacterium. If you have an infection with it, it will chew up for breakfast most of the antibiotics we have, and that's why it's particularly concerning.
Wow.
Yeah.
I used to work in healthcare, and I had a client that I was assigned to, and he had MRSA in his saliva. He also had mental deficiencies, and he would spit at people. So I felt like Captain America coming out at Mystic Luxury Cinema with a shield, which was usually a pot top that nobody could have because I would be,
Wow, that's tough.
Yeah. He really liked my mom.
There's a couple of parts to that, right? So the MRSA colonization, if you have it one place, you got it all over the place.
Oh,
just
yeah.
To be clear.
Yeah.
No, there are a lot of people that don't know that. So that's one piece of that puzzle. The other part that I liked about that story is that you have somebody who has a behavioral health condition that is preventing them from acting normally, so to speak, with everyone, right? So I tend to tell people to think of those conditions like you've got poison ivy, but it's in your brain. You know how itchy poison ivy is. Everybody does, right?
Right. And you're not supposed to scratch.
You're not supposed to scratch it. So the only thing that they can do to scratch that itch is a behavior. And that behavior is something we often don't see, so it can be surprising, right? But it's understandable when you say, some of this they're almost forced to do, right?
It was basically like a tick. Yeah, he would just
a little bit. Yeah, I don't mean to oversimplify that because there are many complex
You can't put
pieces.
calamine lotion in your brain.
That's it. I didn't think I'd say that, but that's it. Yeah. That's also why we have some counselors, social workers that will do counseling and help people change behavior and think about how they interact with their lives to make it better.
Just amazing. We've got about 8 minutes left. We're okay. All right. So getting back to, I know we went far afield from what can someone do who goes to the doctor or needs a doctor? Their doctor moves away where we won't even get the specialist.
Yeah.
Their PCP moves away, retires, gives up, runs out of Rhode Island screaming and yelling.
Mine gave up.
And now they need a doctor. What are they to do? What's
say,
the best way?
Yeah, the most important thing is
other than call Wood River Health.
You can absolutely do that. But if you're a generic situation, though, I'd say get a copy of your medical record. One of the biggest holdups for getting into a new doctor's office is having something about your past history available to the new provider.
Don't most doctors usually take an ad in the paper saying you'll have to so-and-so, they'll give a date to come and get your medical records, or they used to?
And that's a requirement, either an ad in the paper and or a letter to the home. And you have to give folks 30 days notice and a list of other people who should be able to take you.
Good.
So yeah, that's to avoid what we call abandonment. But if that, God forbid, happens to you, before they're done, get a copy of your medical record, and just bringing that with you really jumpstarts the process of getting into a new practice. In our case, I mean, we talked about Dr. Fox coming on board. He has a lot of patients.
You said he's got 1,500 patients
or more, frankly.
So he's booked till November.
So he is booked solid, and he'll be up to speed because he had to learn how to use our system, our EMR, our electronic record, and so forth. But he'll be up to speed soon. And we're just going as fast as we can to get that information into our computer system, which may not sound important, but it really guides us in how we think about problems.
Oh, yeah.
How you get alerts.
What a huge job that is for whoever's inputting all that.
Yeah, it's pretty significant. So anyone who can bring their record with them, that really helps us. When there's special circumstances, we've been able to see people in the Express Center as well. Not all the time, but special circumstances. And we'll
are you all
Fox.
alone in the Express Center, or are you the only MD physician?
Right now, we have 3 full-time people who do Express. I do it basically 2 half days a week. And our nurse practitioner, Haley Jackson, and now Audrey Tin is a physician assistant.
Met Haley, yeah.
Yeah. And Haley's the one that stays late on Monday through Wednesday till 8 o'clock. And Audrey is now actually going to be opening up this access at our Westerly location at 17 Wells. So not only will you have the ability to call and get in the same day in Hope Valley, we're bringing it closer to Westerly at this point.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, do you go to Westerly as well, or do they leave you in Hope Valley?
Yeah. I visit Westerly. I don't practice in Westerly at this time.
Okay. All right. Wow. Now, if someone needs a specialist, obviously they talk to their regular doctor.
They do.
How can they get into a specialist? If it's a matter of, and there are articles in here, or there are cases, good and bad. If someone has a lump and thinks it could be a malignancy, they don't want to wait till November. They shouldn't wait till November.
No, they shouldn't.
What's their best course of action?
I won't tell you that one person's best course of action, but I can tell you that our approach to that problem has been with the help of the Rhode Island Health Center Association. They funded a subscription service called Maven, or the Maven Project, and that's special for federally qualified health centers. And I can take the case of somebody with probable Lyme disease. I take away the name and exact age and things like that. There's no personal information in it. I send this off to the Maven Project, and somewhere in the 4 hours to 24 hours, I'll get infectious disease specialist from Mass General who responds to my question and says, I would think about the following.
Wow, that's great.
In residency, in our training, we all did a lot of things, right? But as you get into practice, the less you do it, the less comfortable you are. So the nice thing about this service is if we refresh our memory, we're perfectly capable of at least carrying out what's given in that initial consult. And even if it doesn't solve the problem, when you do get to see the specialist, they have all their work cut out and ready for them. So it can really advance how fast you get access.
So it really, medicine has become very collaborative.
It has. It had to.
Because it almost sounds like we're getting away, and please take this the right way, but there are there have been in the past, and there probably still are, those doctors who think they're God. And that it's one way, my way, and if you're not going to listen to me, then go away. But now it sounds gentler.
I think it is gentler. There are still hurdles. There always will be. When we've looked at where do problems in healthcare delivery come in, it's the top of the list every time is communication. So there aren't enough hours in the day. The American Academy of Family Practitioners looked at what we're expected to do in a typical patient panel and said, you can do that when you work 27 hours a day. That's literally what they calculated.
27 hours a day. All right.
With our model, you can get through it in about 9. Even that, though, is stretching it. That's the kind of pressure folks are under at this point. Everyone knows the cost of buying milk has gone up since COVID started, right? Like maybe 20, 30, 40%. Insurance reimbursement hasn't. So we're working with them every day to try and make them understand this. We have.
And when the doctor is saying insurance reimbursement, he's not talking about what you're paying. This has nothing.
That's right.
This is what they are getting from the insurance company.
Correct. It's what the provider is paid for.
And I can remember looking at those sheets where it would say the doctor charged $190 for the visit, and whatever the insurance company is giving them $81.50. And you owe the rest, or you can fight about it, and that's so difficult for doctors because your expenses have gone up.
They have.
I mean, if you're in private practice, you've got rent and employees and paper and equipment and everything else. The lights, the heat, the air conditioning.
We don't think of it this way, but healthcare in general is a scarce resource. And so if you remember that there really aren't enough doctors or healthcare providers for all of us to see as much as we would like, then you start to see how the economics influence this, how if you only pay on a per encounter or fee for service basis, people wind up having to do more and more in less and less time.
Wow.
So there is some light at the end of this tunnel, but it's going to be another probably 3 to 10 years.
I can see where there's going to be a part 2 down the road. I thank you, Jonathan Gates, Dr. Jonathan Gates, so much for coming in, especially on very short notice.
Well, my pleasure.
Every time I meet somebody new from Wood River Health, I am impressed all over again. I mean, Allison Croak has put together just some top-notch people over there. And if you are looking for great medical service, you might want to give this a look. In Hope Valley is their main source, their main place, but 17 wells, right? Right by the hospital. They opened that a few years ago, and that is excellent. And we are very fortunate to have you in our community. This Express Care really is terrific. It's so nice to have alternatives and collaboration. And I want people to know that, again, that in a half hour across the street at the Westerly Library is Martin Luther King Jr. They're actually calling it an evening with the man, the myth, the martyr, short readings and discussions, refreshments, sponsored by the Westerly Peace and Justice Group, the Westerly Anti-Racism Coalition, and the Rotary Club of Westerly. So if you are interested, if you have nothing to do this evening for a couple of hours, and especially if you have a middle school or high school student,
for real,
bring them along. They can go stream something later or play with their phones later. I'm looking at this. Yeah, we actually have cameras now.
Yeah.
For all the years that we've been together,
what I
she
do.
has always drawn artwork, but we were on the radio. Now everybody can see what you do, and you did a fantastic job. Thank you, everybody. Be well, be healthy. Take risks, but please not on the road. Take risks, just make your life a little bit broader and see what happens. And we'll see you next week on Man About Town.
Touchdown, Westerly!
A chance for the Chargers, and they score!
In the front, Guzzi again!